Alrighty, welcome to Talk Small Business to Me. This is, from the top of my memory, episode 7 on season 2, which is super exciting. And today we have the amazing Suze. How's your day been today? What has been the highlight of your week?
My daughter went back to school this week, so totally a big highlight for me. So I get 5 minutes. I get actually 5 minutes to myself. But in saying that, it's very full on with events coming up. So I'm doing lots of prepping. I've got site visits. Just a lot's going on, and I'm trying to squeeze it all in before school pickup.
Yeah, it's the endless cycle, isn't it? It just doesn't end.
Totally.
And like crazy jumping on a podcast on like a Wednesday morning, like throw a little
And
spanner
it's
in the works.
why not?
Just another thing. One of my favorite things to ask is if you were to give your like business a signature song, so like a song that you've already heard, what would it be?
Oh God.
Hmm.
Mm. I don't know. It just came to the top of my head. My Little Soda Pop. I don't know. Like I have so much love for my business.
Yeah.
It's like my little baby, so to say. And so much love and passion. So I'm guessing that's where. Plus, my daughter loves that song, and it's constantly in my head.
Totally.
Um, yeah,
It's
I
so
could go with
catchy.
that.
It's
And it's so
crazy.
catchy. So
Yeah.
let's hope, you know, my business is very catchy.
Yes. Yes, I love that. I reckon we're just gonna jump right in.
Sure.
And we just let's hear about your story. So like what inspired you to start your business and how did that initial passion kind of grow to be Creations by Suze?
So I've always had this creative side from when I was in high school. So I did photography and I did 3 unit art in high school. So I've always had that creative side. But as soon as I finished school, I actually did nothing about it. And I became I worked from the bottom to the top and I worked in insurance and banking. And then I got into I became a team manager and I ran several teams over the years. And then I fell pregnant with my daughter. Um, and then a lot of people don't know this, but I actually lost my son in 2019. Um, I went through a lot of grief and a lot of loss during that time.
Mm.
I didn't think that in my life that I would ever bury a child. Um, and that really, like my daughter was 3 at the time, and I could honestly say she basically saved me during that period, like to get out of bed, to go get help, because I did get a lot of help where I needed to and speak to people to get me through that because it was a really, really tough time for me. Um, yeah, so that for me was, I, it took time for me to heal. Um, and then when I lost my child, I kind of poured myself into another.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's where I told my husband it was my 40th birthday, and he said to me, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" I said, "I really don't want to do anything, but can you get me the cry cup machine or cricket machine, whatever you want to call it?" And from there, I loved using that machine. I loved, the fonts and the creativity, and I'm like, "Oh wow, this is fun." I enjoyed it, and then I started to buy vinyls, heat transfer vinyls and vinyl decals. And then I'm like, oh, I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing water bottles. I'm doing T-shirts for her. And then I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of compliments that way through many people. And everyone's like, oh, you should do something like this, sell stuff like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I said to my husband, I'm going ahead, I'm going on Insta and I'm going to give it a go. And
Mm.
that's how Creations by Suze actually started. I actually started off not with events. It actually started off with decals, gift boxes, um, and it also made me happy. And it also, I seen the joy that it brought to a lot of parents, and I really love that because for with a loss of a child, you just want to see happiness with others, and that for me was my like my calling, so to say. And I loved seeing people happy, loved seeing my child when she's seen her name on something. Plus
Yeah.
she was still young at the time. So yeah, it just was a slow step by step, so to say, from vinyl decals to baptism boxes to
Mm.
christening candles. And then I always wanted to do events. Always. It was always there at the beginning. But before I really delved into that, I said to myself, I'm gonna save all my money from doing decals and small little things. And then I was gonna buy my very first backdrop and then also start saving to do courses for balloon courses and floral courses. And I did. I It took me maybe 3 years doing vinyl decals and doing the gift boxes and candles and so forth. And yeah, I did, and I saved my money. I invested in myself. I believed in myself, and I went and did the course. And then it was a friend of mine who recommended me to a lady. She asked, oh, she's looking for someone who does balloons for her son's baptism. And I said,
Mhm.
look, I just finished the course. Would you like, here's what I've done in my training. Maybe send this to her, see if she's happy with it. And from that, see what she says. She goes, yep. She sent it through and she absolutely loved it. And it was that one lady who trusted me, gave me the opportunity. And that's where I just grew from that little small thing by me investing in myself, getting the training, saved all my money to get to do what I love. Um, that for me was so fulfilling. Like that's how I grew. That's where I started to show my work and people actually started to see what I could do. So yeah, that's where it all started.
Well, we had a quick hiatus just because the recordings decided to drop out, but it actually just leads us on to our second question. So, um, yeah, what you said was so beautiful. So, can you describe, you kind of mentioned it, the early stages of building your business and what were some like major challenges that you faced along the way?
For me, the biggest challenge was not whilst doing events. It was actually while I was doing the decals and at the beginning stages of my business, and it was during COVID. Um, because we were all in lockdown during that period, I actually posted on Marketplace these Father's Day PJ sets that I was doing, and I put it up on Marketplace for to purchase, and they're custom made orders. I I can't believe how many orders I received from people during that time, because no one could go out shopping. So everyone was trying to do everything online. And I think I got about 300 orders, and that was all left on me. It was just me, and my business has always just been me as a sole operator. I was so overwhelmed with how many orders I received. I had to um, I had to organize to get more stock in. I had to organize every single item, all had to be custom made, even though it was a single template. It all had to be customized with the children's names on it. So it said best dad ever. Um, and it
Mm.
had the kids' names on there. And it was a whole PJ set. So for me, that I could honestly say was the biggest challenge. And then during that time, again, I went through a lot of personal heartache, which I didn't even know. Um, I ended up copping a lot of pain on one side of my body, and I didn't know. And we couldn't move at the time. We couldn't leave our area. You know that when we were all in lockdown and you couldn't leave the
Yeah.
area 5K kilometer zone.
Yeah.
I was in severe pain, and I'm halfway through now doing all my orders, trying to get them out because we've got now nearly a week and a half till Father's Day. Um, and then I I couldn't handle the pain. I copped it and I said to my husband, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling in severe pain. I feel really paralyzed with my leg. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling a lot of cramps. And so he called me an ambulance and I went to the hospital and I found out I ended up having an ectopic pregnancy. So not only did I go through what I went through prior, a year later, here I am. I cop
Yeah.
an ectopic pregnancy whilst now trying to run a business. Um, and I have to do these orders. So there was, I think I had like about 10 left due at that time. And I made my darling husband, I gave my husband all their numbers, all the clients' numbers to give him a call and tell him, look, I'm sorry. I'm just in, like, it's everything's going to be done, but I'm just a little delayed. Um, but I had to have surgery immediately. Everything pivoted within the space of 48 hours of
Mm.
what I had to do in my during that time. It was just, I was so lost. I was so scared. I was so confused. I've never been under before. I walked out of the door, didn't say goodbye to my husband or my daughter. It was in the middle of the night that I went into hospital, and everything was just done so quickly. So, but by the time, during that time, my husband wasn't allowed to come with us in the hospital. I had to be there by myself overnight. And then the next morning he came and picked me up. But I gave myself 24 hours and then I went back into doing shirts for Father's Day. But for me, that I could honestly say was quite challenging. Um,
Mm.
Also trying to deal with grief again. Even though during that time it's a different grief compared to losing a child. Uh,
Mm.
but again, it's grief. But
Yeah.
also trying to run a business at the same time.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a lot of challenges during that period and COVID.
Yeah. Add that onto the list as well. Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard because it's like, you said it before, like your business is like your baby, like um, that's you so much like heart and soul, but then it's also like life that happens all around it. Like it just doesn't stop
Yeah,
for this. And, like in the midst of like grief and like trials and all that sort of thing, like you still have to show up in all aspects of your life.
yeah,
And
and I'm to be honest, I'm very lucky with. I've got amazing clients, and all these clients were so understanding to say,
mm,
take all the time you need. We understand. Like, and I was willing to give money back and so forth. But I'm very grateful. My husband also did help me during that time with doing it and helping me make them at that moment. And lucky it was very minimal amounts where I
yeah,
didn't have to stress too much. Um, but yeah, that was quite challenging because you have it's like I had to shut that feeling off because I had to still work. Um,
yeah,
and I didn't want to let anyone down.
mm,
So
yeah, it's so
yeah,
mm, yeah. So yeah, it's such a hard like battle in terms of like you're feeling like you're putting people like you're not doing justice to your clients, but it's like the
yeah,
reality is that you are, like, but by also looking after yourself. Yeah, that's such a thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful. Um Hard but beautiful to like reflect on now. Um Pivoting a little bit, when you're, because obviously you're such a creative person, how do you describe your like unique creative style, and how did that kind of evolve? Like, obviously, you started in a completely different industry and area, and then obviously pivoting to like party hire, props, that sort of thing. How did that kind of pivot evolve and your creative style flourish in that?
So when I started to do the baptism candles and the baptism boxes, that I started to get tagged by a lot of event stylists and planners through their posts, and then obviously when you get tagged, you start to see more and more with events. And I always wanted to do events, like I said from the beginning, but I just needed to save the money, and also get myself upskilled in that area and understand that field a lot better than what I was just basically doing, because you need, when you do events, it's a whole new ball game compared to just doing baptism boxes and candles. This is a whole different ball game. So my style was basically, I did my training and learnings with balloons and with florals. Um, at first, it was, you learn someone else's style based on what you get taught. And then over the years, I actually put my own spin to it. So my own style, my own look, my own personal touch, so to say. I'm more, because I do follow quite a lot of stylists, people, a lot of stylists that have thousands of followers to stylists that have just only hundreds of followers. So I do a lot of networking. I do a lot of looking on Instagram. And so I kind of picked my own style, my own look. It's more modern, elegant, it's timeless, and also thinking of what the client wants, and if they let me know this is the look that they're going for, I guess, again, going with what they want, but again, putting my twist to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love
So making sure the client's vision is always my number one priority.
totally.
Yeah. So that for me is number one priority, and then add my intake to that look.
Yeah. Um, when like talking about obviously like different people that you've looked up to, or even your clients and like those conversations, how has like working collaboratively like with other creatives, vendors, so on and so forth, contributed to your success, and how do you maintain those relationships?
So I actually do a lot of networking. I I'm in this society called the Life's Little Celebration Society with Tanya, and I've been there for nearly 2 years, and it's been great. I have had the opportunities to do a styling shoot, and from that styling shoot, I was able to start meeting um, other vendors, and from that opportunity, you start to chat, you start to talk, plus you get to see the people that are on your Instagram, you actually get to meet them in person. So for
Yeah.
me, it was like a very surreal moment that, oh wow, I get to meet these people and I get to see their work. There were newbies at the time, and there were some people that have been in the industry for a long time when I started to be in this society. So for me, I'm very social. I'm someone who's an extrovert. I can talk underwater, so to say. So I'm not that shy person. So I love to chat and I love to comment. I've always commented on people's work. And I think that people appreciate that. Um, yeah, so for me, it was ensuring, it could be a simple, oh, wow, that's beautiful, that someone's thought, oh, thank you. Because not a lot of people don't comment, they like, but then they don't comment. And it just starts from there, so small. Collaboration definitely has helped. because I tag all my vendors, anyone that I use when I do my events, because I do the styling, I do the balloons, I do my props, I do everything, but some things I just don't do, or I don't have. And this is where collaboration helps the most, and going out to people who have specific type of props, who have the bomboniere, or acrylics, or anything that I don't have. I go to these people, and that's where collaboration is so important, because not only is it helping my client and my business, it's actually helping someone else's small business. We're all here to achieve the same goal, and everyone deserves credit wherever they need, because everyone works hard to achieve the same goal. We all want something beautiful, and we put so much effort and passion into it. So yeah, I definitely 100% make sure that every vendor that I use is seen on all my Instagram posts and my stories, because they deserve it.
And with like trends like constantly changing and evolving, how do you kind of keep your like brand like innovative and but still like remain your like distinct brand identity in and through that?
Um, Trends are always evolving, and that's what's so exciting about our industry. It's constantly changing. I stay inspired by keeping up, looking at Instagram, other stylists, networking. I look on Pinterest. I I look at interior designs, because you'll be surprised at how interior designing comes a big play with color schemes, and what's coming ahead in the seasons moving forward. Um, it's just a lot of there's fashion, a lot of fashion as well that you can get inspiration from. Nature, because I deal with florals. I look out the window, or I'm driving somewhere, or we're going away somewhere, and I'm looking at, I'm like, oh my God, look at the greenery. Like, you look at the greenery with the florals, and you look at the colors and how they're paired, and you're like, oh wow, that, and you just bring it, just for some reason it comes in my mind. Um, and you just utilize, that's where all the inspiration comes from. You get it from everywhere. And don't forget, you do have, when a client sends you an inspo, to say, hey, this is what I'm looking at, I do not like the whole copying. If you want that exact look, I always say, and I've said it to several people, if this is the look that you want, go to that person who created that, because they deserve the credit. But if you're willing to make changes and keep it similar, but add several changes to that, and then I will suggest things, and you're open to it, that's when I will step in and then put my creative spin to it, because we're all unique and different. And if you copy someone else's work, it means that I don't have my own style, my own feel, my own look, and I'm not unique. So for me, it's making sure I keep my unique look to what I do.
Yeah. Has there been like a standout like backdrop floral arrangement that you've done for a like party or event that has kind of like sit with you where you're like, oh, that was like my prime work?
Oh wow. Look, I've got a few. I think for me, that very first client that I did, because it was also kind of like very personal. That very first client that trusted me in doing her son's baptism with the balloons, um, she gave me a chance, and for me, that was my best work. I was so nervous. I was so anxious to do this, because wow, this lady's given me this opportunity. Plus, her son's name was Joseph, And that's that that name means a lot to me because that was my son's name. So it was so bizarre that it happened to be this first lady that chose me to do her event, whose son's name was Joseph. It was such a goosebump moment. But I poured my heart and my soul into that event. Not only did she trust me to do the styling, as well of the backdrop, but I also did the table settings for the baptism. So with florals and vases, napkins and bomboniere, I did it all, but it was very personal because of the name. And I adore this client. She's come back to me several times. Um, yeah, so for me, that was quite special. And then I could say I have done a bridal shower back in March, and I used fresh florals, and that for me was very challenging because I've never worked with fresh florals. Um, yeah, so that really stood out because nothing beats fresh. However, it was the most challenging moment because florals can die,
Yeah.
do not work within a specific time frame. You need a cold room. You need to know what florals are in season. And I had limited hours to
Mm-hmm.
get these florals done. And let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I think I broke more of a sweat in that time uh, during those 2 days than I did with any event I've done. So for me, working with fresh florals, I see why florists charge a lot
Mm-hmm.
because it's very time specific. You need to be delicate with them. Um, yeah, that was, but it was so beautiful. It was one of
Yeah.
my most beautiful setups I've done.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so like it's so cool to kind of see that like you're something that you've got in your mind, and then executing it, like, oh, this is the final product. Um, I did want to like touch on like that, the reoccurring clients. Do you feel as though that, I mean, you're in such a beautiful position where it's like those client relationships, do you find that the you have like this fostered relationship with your clients, and they keep coming back, and how does that like manifest? Do you feel like you get to like grow with them and through those journeys? Is that something that's a um that reoccurring in your business?
absolutely. I just did an event on the weekend. So I'll go back to that lady who started off with me. She's got four beautiful children. She started to utilize to have me set her, her son's baptism, his first birthday. She then had her fourth daughter. I got to do her first birthday, her baptism. She got me to do her mum's 60th. I've built such a great relationship with her, and she trusts me. She just tells me the color scheme, and she goes, "I trust you, Suze. Go for it." So for me, not only have I created trust with her, I've also created such a great friendship. She knows my family. I know her family. We've grown. I've loved seeing her family grow. She's seen me grow from where I was to the beginning. And I always say to her, you are the person who gave me a chance. You had
Yeah.
no idea who I was, and you gave me everything to start off with. So I'm very grateful for her. And I've got such a beautiful friendship. She comes back to me. I still do. I don't do much of them, but of baptism candles and boxes. But she's come back to me again. She goes, "I'm going to be a godmother. Can you do this for me?" So for her, I would stop and do everything. And I just had now over the weekend, I had a client who I just did her son's baptism and first birthday. She came back to me now, and I just did her daughter's baptism's backdrop and styling. So yeah, it's been amazing because I'm a mum. I I get it. I get being a parent. I get we all work. We're all human at the end of the day, and we're all trying to make our life beautiful, memorable. Um, and that's what I've always wanted for people. And this is why I do what I do. I have so much passion for it, and I have so much joy seeing people happy. Because I love doing this for my daughter, and I would have loved to have done this for my son. Um, so for me, yeah, it's reoccurring customers are the best customers. Um, and most of them happen to be my reoccurring customers, and it's a lot of word of mouth too. Everyone recommends me, so I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed with my clients. I could honestly say I haven't had not one bad client uh, with my business, not one bad client at all. I'm very grateful.
That's so cool. And you won the 2025 Soul Operator Local Business Award for like your district. What was that like recognition? What did that mean to you? And like how did that, I guess, grow you personally and professionally? I know it's been this year. So I don't know how much you would even say on that, but such a cool recognition to begin with.
Oh, I'm absolutely stoked. I'm still
Mhm.
I'm still shocked. I keep looking at my award and I go, because I got it in my lounge room and I keep staring at it,
Yes.
and it's where the TVs, and I'm like, I'm so proud. I'm absolutely
Mm,
proud of the achievement because
mhm.
I was in it last year, and I had gone through the awards last year. I didn't win, but I know I backed myself. And so
Yeah.
when we went through it again this year, I had hope, and I walked in there going, whatever it is, it is. I'm still grateful and blessed what I've achieved. But to hear um, my name, I was in complete shock. I was lucky. My sisters both came with me. My best friend who was there, she started helping me with my business, and she was there to support me on the night with my sisters. They're like, oh, we've got a gut feeling you're going to win, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. But to hear my name, my business name, as the winner of the Sole Operator Local Business Award winner, I was shocked. On a personal level, it was a real moment of gratitude and reflection, um, as well as grateful for the support from my husband and my daughter. If it wasn't for my husband Vince, who helps me load the van, he does these small things. It's me predominantly. I'm the one who does the florals. I'm the one who does the designs. I'm the one who does every little detail. But my husband is the one that is also there to give me the time. So he is with my child. He's also there to help me carry some of the heavy props. I'm not going to lie, into the van, and sometimes comes with me to the venue to drop him off. Um, yeah, if it wasn't for my daughter and my husband, my daughter comes and helps me twist balloons at times. Like, so we all play a little pivotal role. So it was definitely a very surreal moment with celebrating with my husband and my daughter, because if it wasn't for them to back me, I wouldn't be where I am today. On a professional level, it was a rewarding milestone to be acknowledged not only by my customers but by the community, um, and also the commitment of me pushing through uh, my boundaries, pushing through my hard times, uh, lots of growth, and staying true to my values.
Mhm.
And also supporting my local community. Like, I'm all about my local community wherever, I can help, with fundraisers, school fundraisers, doing events at the local RSL. It's just nice to be recognized by the community. And for me, this is this shows the support that I've got from our community, from my customers, and it's, yeah, so rewarding and very,
Yeah,
very surreal.
yeah, it's such a like exciting thing, and it's like you got a beautiful award that sits in your living room, and you get to gaze at it and just be like, wow.
Totally.
And also being able to like look back, like the past like 5 or so years of growth and the way that you've evolved and the way that your clients have grown with you as well. It's just a beautiful moment. And my last question for you is what are like if we're looking ahead, right? So the next like 5 years, what are your goals for the future and like for the future of Creations by Suze?
Um, I've been thinking about this for a while. I'm looking at expanding the business by taking on larger scale events such as weddings. I've just dipped my foot into the corporate world. So I've just recently done a corporate event with Glassons. It was at the Taronga Zoo venue there. So that was a very exciting moment. So I really got to dip my toe there. So yeah, I would love to get into that space on a bigger scale, but it takes a team to achieve that. So looking at, potentially hiring staff and training and upskilling people rather than just having it be on me, because it is a lot of work on me. It's hard work and dedication, and I do it all. So I need to expand my business if it's going to grow onto that bigger scale. And I'm also looking to secure like either a shop front and or a warehouse space, so where I can showcase my work to clients and they can feel free to walk in to have a look at styles and looks of what they want. So they have that space. And again, I'm someone who has their business at home, which is a lot of cost cutting, which is where I cost cut when I bring forward the pricing with my clients. But when you move forward into having a warehouse and so forth, again, those costs have to come forward
Yeah.
with the business growing. So, yeah, like I'm moving forward, but I'm taking my baby steps, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But it's a little, I've got a period of say 5 to 6 years where I see that.
Yeah. Well, it's still like super exciting and it's super exciting to watch you grow and learn new things and just like be immersed in your business and so excited for like these next steps. Um as we wrap up like our conversation, is there anything that you kind of want to leave with people? Um like any advice for people just starting out?
Mm, Look, for me, there's a lot that there are a lot of behind the scenes that people don't really get to see. And I really want to talk about how important it is to understand not just doing a beautiful backdrop. That's what you see at the end outcome. I just want to explain a little bit to everyone. When you run a business, there's so much logistics around it. So that people don't realize that it's not just a beautiful setup. There's a lot of organization and structure that's involved in it. So I want to touch on where your business comes in. So for me, I have my insurance with you guys. So I have public liability insurance. I also have vehicle insurance. So I think for me, it's really important that people understand that I'm not just a business that is on marketplace. I'm a full legit running business, and I'm here about safety and making sure that we are covered for any scenario. And that's where you guys come in.
Yeah.
I've got public liability cover with you guys, and I'm very grateful that you guys are the only ones that I found that offer this to our specific industry. So I'm very grateful with that, because I do have a lot of venues that ask me for my certificate of currency, and a lot of community halls that ask me for that, because they don't allow businesses to do setups if I don't have that. So
Mm.
this is one part to it. It's managing my vehicle cover, pouring petrol, running a vehicle. There's doing preps of quotes. There's preps of invoicing. There's I got to maintain keeping up with social media. I got to make, and it's not just one platform, it's several platforms. Like there's so much, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, and yes, those two are linked. There's TikTok. I'm on Pinterest. I have my own website that I constantly have to maintain. And not do I only maintain it, I don't have anyone that runs my website. I do it myself. So I need to understand SEO. So, it's understanding how to be seen on Google and how to be on the front pages of Google. So I did a lot of courses on doing that because I'm the one that has to do all this marketing, branding. There's a lot of countless hours on time management, decision making. There's a lot of pivoting, like on the weekend, this weekend, where I had a client whose event was going to be at the city in Pitt Street. But then the protests were happening and she
Yes.
cancelled,
Yeah.
right? She cancelled and said, can we pivot? I cancelled. Can we move to Parramatta? And this was all a day before.
Mm.
So, I'm not here, I'm working with my clients. I'm here to make sure that we achieve the same outcome, but also being able to pivot to the new location. So I had to go do a quick site visit of the venue to ensure I know what I'm looking at and what space I've got. So there's just so much that happens, and again, it comes back down to a lot of passion, commitment, and ensuring that my clients are happy at the end of the day. Like,
Mm.
yeah, there's when I leave, when I talk about what do I want to give to people who have a business, is it's a lot of time. Don't expect a business to be grown in a matter of a day. It's taken me 5 years to be where I am, and I've had challenges along the way, not only on a personal level but also on a business level. But I'm also a mum, and I'm also a wife, and I also have to run a household.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weight that carries on my shoulders, and I think to myself, wow, I do it all. But I'm very grateful with the support of my friends, my family, and my wonderful husband, Vince, and my beautiful daughter, Ariana. So I'm very blessed and very grateful.
Yeah, it's so good having your community. Community is so important as well, and um, having grace for yourself in the midst of like chaos and organization. And it's like, okay, how can you have that balance between everything? But honestly, thank you so much for like sharing your journey, both like personally and professionally, and all the things that wrap up into that like beautiful little bow. um but yeah, it's beautiful, and the rawness and the love that you have for your business, I think is beautiful. And I think it's a testament on how you've evolved over these past 5 or so years. um is because of the way that you just love on your business, and it is just an extension of you. So yes, you're doing amazing, and it's
Thank you.
beautiful seeing your work. um I am going to just do a quick wrap up, but yeah, we've had such a great convo today. So excited to hear it live. But that is episode 7 of Talk Small Business to Me. If you guys want to hear anything specific, if you want to see anything, let us know. But thank you so much for joining us, Suze. And that is Talk Small Business to Me. See you guys.